Welcome to Sterling Visionary Voices, the podcast dedicated to bringing you diverse, innovative leadership insights and actionable strategies for success. Join hosts Laura McNeil and Bob Medeiros as they explore the art and science of role model leadership through thought-provoking conversations with real professionals. Whether you're a seasoned leader or aspiring to excellence, Sterling Visionary Voices is your guide to navigating the complexities of your leadership journey.
Artificial intelligence was first introduced by Alan Turing with his publication Computing Machinery and Intelligence, which introduced the Turing test in 1950. By the 1960s, Eliza, the first chatbot, was introduced along with a robot named Shaky. Since that time, the debate and the mystery as to whether machine will eventually overtake man has come up over and over again. With us today is Dr. Sampson Gholston. Dr. Gholston has a PhD in Industrial and Systems Engineering, has taught for 27 years at the University of Alabama at Huntsville, and is currently at the University of Texas at Arlington as Department Chair for Industrial, Manufacturing, and Systems Engineering. Welcome to Visionary Voices, Dr. Gholston. I'm wondering if you would mind starting us out with some perspectives on what artificial intelligence is and the importance of its history.
Thank you, Dr. McNeil. In the age of AI, it can be tempting to see machines as a replacement for human intelligence. But in reality, AI forces us to become more human. It pushes us to focus on what machines can't do, like empathy, sympathy, ethical decision-making, deep emotional intelligence. AI can crunch numbers, analyze patterns, and even write speeches, but it can't replace that intuition that comes from lived experience. It can't replace the trust built between leaders and their teams. So AI can, as it continues to evolve, the real question is not how AI will change the world. The question is, how will you as leaders harness AI to change your world? Just a brief example, or history for AI in 2016, Google's DeepMind AlphaGo went up against the world champion Lee Sedol in a 5-game match in Seoul. If you're familiar with AlphaGo, it's a really complex game, surpassing chess in the strategic depth. But AlphaGo was able to demonstrate that it could advance or develop advanced capabilities in artificial intelligence, showcasing its ability to learn and execute strategies that previously we thought only human players could develop. AlphaGo utilized sophisticated techniques like deep neural networks and reinforcement learning, allowing it to analyze extensive game data and refine its strategies. Throughout the match, AlphaGo's unconventional moves surprised Lee Sedol and spectators alike, leading to a highly competitive series where AlphaGo was able to win 4 out of 5 games. The implication of AlphaGo's success extended beyond the gaming world, sparking conversations about potential application of AI in various industries, including healthcare and logistics. This historic match not only highlighted the advances in AI technology, but raised important questions about the relationship between human intelligence and machine learning, challenging us to reconsider the boundaries of both. So what is AI? Artificial intelligence is often described as the new electricity. Like electricity in the late 19th and 20th century, AI is transforming every industry from healthcare to finance to manufacturing and education. But more than being just a powerful tool for automation and data analysis, AI represents something deeper, a shift into how we think about intelligence itself. AI at its core is about creating machines that can learn from data and perform tasks that normally require human intelligence, such as recognizing speech, making decisions, and creating art. What's important to understand is that AI isn't one thing. There are many forms, from narrow AI, which specializes on specific tasks, to general AI, which doesn't exist yet, but would in theory match or surpass human intelligence across a broad range of activities. As leaders, it's easy to get lost in the buzzwords, machine learning, neural networks, natural language processing. But the key takeaway is AI isn't just about improving efficiencies or cutting costs. It's about unlocking new possibilities for creativity, strategy, and decision making.
As you mentioned, AI has evolved over time from a productivity efficiency enhancer to more of a creative influence. I'm interested in finding out if you have any additional perspectives on this.
So, for a long time, businesses have viewed AI as a tool to improve productivity, whether that's optimizing supply chains, automating customer service, or predicting market trends. And these are true. AI excels in these areas, but the most forward thinking leaders are asking a different question: how can AI help us innovate? AI is starting to push the boundaries on human creativity. If we look at the fields of drug discovery, traditionally it took years and billions of dollars to develop new drugs. Now AI algorithms can analyze vast amount of data in ways that no team of researchers ever could, to identify promising compounds in a fraction of the time. In marketing, AI is transforming many companies and how they engage customers, predict trends, and craft personalized experiences that feel almost human. But even beyond these practical applications, AI challenges us to rethink how we approach creativity and strategy. AI now composes music, writes poetry, and even creates visual art. These creations might not resonate in the same way as a human would, but they force us to ask, what is creativity? What happens when machines can do what we thought only humans could do? The future of AI and leadership, therefore, is not just about how fast or how cheaply we can get things done. It's about how AI enhances our ability to think differently, see patterns we'd missed, and then take creative risk that we wouldn't otherwise have considered.
Being from the financial industry, where we are developing and leveraging AI and generative AI in unique ways, we are very keenly sensitive to the risks that AI can introduce. What are some of the moral and ethical dilemmas that we all need to be aware of that you're seeing?
Of course, with all this power comes responsibility. As AI becomes more integrated into the decision-making process, we face new ethical dilemmas. First is the bias in AI. AI systems learn from the data they're given. So if that data is biased, then AI will be biased also. This has already led to serious consequences in areas like hiring, law enforcement, healthcare. Leaders need to be vigilant in understanding how the data they use to train the AI models can shape these outcomes and sometimes highlight existing inequalities. Transparency and accountability. So when AI systems make decisions, whether it's approving a loan or diagnosing a patient or even recommending a course of action to a business leader who's responsibility for that decision, in some cases, AI operates as a black box, where even its creators can't fully explain how to arrive at a particular conclusion. As leaders, we must balance embracing AI's capability with ensuring that we remain accountable for those decisions made under our watch. The future of work, there's no question that AI will disrupt industries, displace jobs, but it will also create new opportunities. As leaders, we need to ask how we can ensure that the workforce transitions smoothly into this new era, how we will reskill our workers. How do we create an environment where AI augments human work rather than replace it?
So, going forward, what do you think leaders should be doing differently when it comes to working with AI or generative AI?
I'm going to leave you three actionable insights that I think leaders should be looking at differently. We should embrace a learning mindset. So this is not a destination where we'll wake up one day and figured it all out. AI is constantly evolving. No one has all the answers, not even the experts. The best leaders will cultivate a culture of curiosity and learning, encouraging your teams to experiment with AI technologies, fail, learn, and iterate. This isn't a race where the finish line is clear. It's an ongoing journey. Second, leverage AI for strategy, not just efficiency. Many companies use AI to streamline processes, but the real power of AI lies in the ability to uncover new opportunities. Look at AI as a partner in strategic decision making. How can it help you see beyond what your data shows? How can it reveal trends, risk, and customer needs that you might not have anticipated? Be thoughtful and an ethical leader. As AI systems take on more complex tasks, remember that leadership is about more than just efficiency. It's about making thoughtful, ethical decisions that consider the long-term impact of AI on people, society, and even the planet. So how do we ensure that our AI systems are fair, transparent, and used responsibly?
It's really good points there. When it comes to teaching, and having been a professor myself at a couple of universities, I know that plagiarism, the age-old plagiarism, has taken a turn given AI and generative AI and everything you can do these days. What do we do to maintain the creativity from man? I'm just wondering if there are tools that can be leveraged to actually delineate product that's produced through AI models versus truly man-made creation.
Yeah, there is tools available like Turnitin. I know you're from an academic background. We used to use Turnitin.com to check a written document to see, was it original work or was it cited in from some other sources. I did use a tool like that last semester when a student had some work that looked like it was machine created, and it came back that the tool that I used said there was 100% probability that this was generated by some AI tool. The difference is when I studied it a little bit more is sometimes the AI tools that we use, they give us general solutions that's not specific to our application. So I think as instructors and faculty, we're now challenged to change. It's kind of like when the calculator came along and everybody's concerned that our math skills would erode. We adjusted to that. And at some point they allow us to use the calculator and we're much more productive, as analysts with that machine. I think a similar transition will take place here with AI. So what I told the student was, this is a good start, a good outline to what I asked you to do. Now you as the human have to make it very specific to this application. So you have to take this start, which gets us 25%, maybe even 50% toward the solution, and then you have to polish it off as a final product. That was my advice on that particular activity. This was an engineering graduate class where he had to do a presentation basically on his dissertation. I can see where, as we're developing skills and those kinds of things, it could enhance our communication skills. But the question we got to answer is, what type of training do we want to provide to the human to get them up to some level of foundation, and then we use the technology now to become more productive and more efficient and getting our ideas across.
I love that because it's not saying it's either or. It's either Gen AI or it's only man-made. You can still use Gen AI, but you have to take the Gen AI as a foundation or framework and then build upon that platform. I love that. I like that approach. Has it changed your approach to teaching in the classroom?
Well, I do let the students know there's a tool that I'm aware that they've been using, but again, there's some foundational concepts there. So I think short answer is yes. I'm not quite sure I've got it figured out exactly how I want to integrate it. Most of my classes are quantitative, which then becomes a problem because some of these AI tools can solve those problems as well. The interpretation, the analysis, and the synthesis part of it, which is higher on Bloom's taxonomy learning scale, those are where I'm trying to focus the students. Okay, as a decision maker, how are you going to use this results from this AI tool to now make a better, more informed decision? So we focus more on that end of it than necessarily that analysis part, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. And I listened to a podcast a couple months back about how Gen AI has really made it quite useful to tailor teaching to individual student needs. Are you seeing any of that from the teaching perspective out to the students, where the tools that are used to teach the students are now becoming integrated with Gen AI approaches to tailor them more towards the areas where the student needs to dig in a little bit more and learn more deeply?
I have not ran across that issue before, but at every meeting with administrators, Gen AI It's a hot topic. In fact, on Friday, we had a meeting with our dean, and they're challenging us to figure out kind of how we're going to use it so we can, tailor those needs to the students so we can improve our teaching and then make the students prepare them for a world where obviously they're going to be interacting with AI and AI tools going forward. The example that our dean gave was he used Gen AI to create a strategic plan just to kind of test, I guess, how developed it was. Our university is kind of large, so he said it was pretty good general plan, but when he used it for a smaller university, he said it was a very good strategic plan. They were able to, be very specific. I guess all the data is there, whatever sources are there, so we're able to pull up a good strategic plan, which from a leadership perspective, if that's 70% toward your strategic plan, now you could just develop that and shorten the time period of that task, which would normally take us 6 to 12 months to complete a strategic plan.
Wow. Very interesting. More to come on this, no doubt. Like you said, this is like a calculator. It's a new form of utility, like electricity, and I'm sure it'll evolve over time.
Well, another example I'll just throw in quickly is I went to the doctor and she used some kind of AI tool in my diagnosis. I was interested when she went to her computer. She said, "Let me put your numbers in AI and see what treatment is suggesting for us to use." When I think about it, all the data that we have available, if we write the deep learning algorithms that allow them to search through that data, it should be a very valuable decision-making aid for our medical professionals going forward.
Right. Wow. On the brink of curing cancer, no doubt, right? You can run through the permutations much faster. Exciting times.
Yeah, it's exciting, but on the other end, I talked to my military buddies. They're very concerned about how our competitors might use AI. So they want to be the first to the market to make sure they understand the capabilities and the limitations. And some people might use it as a strategic advantage in that sense.
Another really good example, especially in today's day of unrest in the Middle East and Europe.
Yeah. Which sheds light a little bit on the transparency issue. Is when I talked to the general, his idea was, can a human explain what the AI tool is going to do next? Because if they can't, I'm probably not going to rely heavily on what it's telling me to do when lives are at stake. I want the human to be in the loop to be able to explain kind of what it's doing.
That's a problem because the human, the machine and the human may not be thinking along the same, and the capacity of a human is somewhat constrained compared to a machine.
That's correct. Yeah. Definitely can't process as much information in the same amount of time.
Exciting, but foreboding nonetheless. I see your point. All right, Sampson. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you joining us today. It's been really insightful, and we'll have to have you back as this whole topic of AI evolves.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Sterling Visionary Voices, Insights for Role Model Leadership from the Sterling Council. Discover more and connect with us at sterlingvisionaryvoices.com.